Welcome back to the Tiger Hero Hanger. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. Today, I want to talk to you about something a little bit different. Fridays are usually about Masterpiece. This is going to be talking about this leak list from Hasbro. There's probably a couple things on there that Masterpiece collectors will probably be interested in, I believe. But when it comes to reissues, most of this list is reissues. Probably about 70% of it is just simply reissues or just recolors. And we're going to talk about that reissuing. And as we go through this, I'm going to give my thoughts on each one of these. But as something pops up that is an issue with reissues or a good reissue, I'll talk about this. This is not a bashing Hasbro video at all. It's saying the good with the bad. And I'm going to take a look at this list. Some stuff I'm excited for. And I'm the person that benefits from reissues the most. Because I only buy like 10 Hasbro figures a year. And I pass on a lot of them. And then I have, in hindsight, I should have picked that up. Let me go ahead and pick that up. But we'll talk about this. We'll talk about the releases. We'll talk about what I'm interested in. We'll talk about what you might be interested in. Then we'll also talk about the good, the bad, the positives, and the damage done by these reissues. Coming up. First thing I want to talk about is this 5-pack. And I want to say that this is kind of a reissue situation. Everything in here is a reissue except for Hound. Hound is the only one in this set that's not a reissue. It's a highly retooled mold of Hound. They all look pretty good. This is a great set within itself. But the fact that most people, sounds like about 70%, wanted just the Hound. And he's on this list. Now we're going to talk more about Hound when we get to it. But all of these are reissues, and all of them have been either reissued since this set or are scheduled or planned to be reissued down the road again, which is interesting, except I haven't heard much about Trailbreaker. But with all of that, this set is caught in the middle of reissues. The other thing is that this is New Age, a New Age picture. I could not find a good picture of all the Galvatrons, and I only have one of Hasbro's Galvatron. I didn't need 6 or however many they've made. They keep putting Galvatron out in slight color variations like this. I'm also going to utilize New Age for what the colors of some of these G2 things could look like, because New Age has already done it, and it's almost like Hasbro is copying New Age in a way. Is that a possibility? But with that reissues, and when so many Galvatrons hit retail with the almost same paint deco and color, it starts to wear on the consumer, the collector. All right, so we're going to go down this list. I'm going to talk about each one of these, and then I'm going to show pictures of things that I think are going to be most interesting to people, and let's talk about that. So there's this Quintus Prime. I think we've actually seen some of that, so that's interesting. It's for this whole Age of Primes, the Deluxe Sure Shot, and that's a G1 kind of item. Blast Off is basically saying they're going to do this in 2026. They're going to start working on, or maybe even complete, the entire Bruticus, so that's a good thing. We see another part of that Bruticus on this list also. Quick Strike is another solid pick for Beast Wars fans, so they're hitting all of the eras for the most part, not all of them, but a large swath of them. Getting down to Smokescreen, now that's one that they have not made very many Smokescreens. They did the either it was Earthrise or it was Siege, but then they did it in Combiner Wars, and they hadn't done it in a while, so it makes sense to get this one with a true proper Earthrise one, I hope. Be interesting. Now, there's Power Glide, there's Swerve, Animated Ratchet, and then a Transformers Prime Cliff Jumper. So, with that, I think with the rest of this list, what's most interesting is probably going to be the Power Glide. Now, I don't really remember them doing a Power Glide since was this Combiner Wars? This thing also was supposedly turned into a gun, I think. That was a strange gimmick that didn't need to exist, but there it is, Combiner Wars. And it was okay. And then I believe it got KO oversized and was sold as a bigger one that was almost a Masterpiece scale, and I have that one also. So this isn't a bad Power Glide, but we're due a solid Power Glide upgrade that's bigger in the Deluxe scale, that works a little bit better. Would it work for Masterpiece? No, it wouldn't. Probably, no matter what they did, it wouldn't work for Masterpiece. But it would still be kind of fun. It's a solid evolutionary step that they're going to be taking with a Power Glide. Okay, so getting into the second part of the list here, and there's two lists, by the way, and they're 95% accurate in the past, so I believe them. Voyager scale, we've got Amalgamus Prime, which I don't know a whole lot about, and then you see Brawl. So there's another one talking about the Combiner. Now, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, so there's really no need for a picture on that one. Animated Wreck-Gar is also going to be interesting. What are they going to do with an animated Wreck-Gar? What's that going to look like? Armada Sideways, which is, from what I hear, it's a figure that hasn't been made since Armada time frame, so that's a good one, I guess. I don't know much about that. Then we got into Nexus Prime. So all of this seems to be either new stuff or it could be reworked stuff that's heavily retooled for these figures in the Voyager scale. And real quick, getting into this Big Convoy, I'm not sure if they've done a leader class Big Convoy in the past and they're just reissuing it, because I thought we've seen that in the past, but that might be a whole new mold. And then there's Universe Razor Claw, which I'm interested to see what that looks like. We already know the Onslaught's going to come. It's a Commander class because they're going to do a Bruticus. And then we get into Generation 2 Swoop and Sludge. So this is where I kind of see Masterpiece collectors probably wanting to get in on this. Their leader class are pretty good size. We're probably not going to see recolors of Fans Toys Gigapower. I don't know what's happened to Gigapower lately. You probably aren't going to see that. So this might be something that you'd get in on. I probably will get in on them. I think that Hasbro's done a really good job with every one of these dinobots. They are the right size to be a leader, in my opinion, which we're going to talk about that here in a bit. We're going to see some stuff coming up that's going to be a pain in the butt, and that's been a pain in the butt, but not a surprise that they did it, but annoyances. But these are true blue and green and red versions of G2 Dinobots. Okay, now looking at the color scheme, this is based off of what New Age did, and I looked at a couple other pictures of art and stuff, but I noticed I don't have G2 versions of these in my collection, which, in hindsight, I probably should have got the New Age ones because of the fact that that would help flush out your G1/D2 collection, because I've never seen them made in G2. Maybe they were prototypes that never really got made, or I don't know why they only did the 3, but anyhow, definitely a cool idea. All right, now we're getting into where we're going to see a lot of reissue stuff. And so we see this Studio Series Bumblebee. I don't know what they're going to use. I doubt it's going to be a whole new mold, though. I'm pretty sure there's enough Bumblebees out there. They could just redo one, change a little paint app, and call it a day. Transformers 1 Orion Pax. Obviously, they're going to support the most recent media. Orion Pax is there. Barricade, which I have seen several Barricades from Transformers 5. I don't believe they're going to do an all-new one. I do not believe that. Wind Chargers 1, so we're going to talk about that. Sunstreakers 1, we're going to talk about that. The Kranix is one that I think Masterpiece collectors are going to be in on. Cliff Jumper is probably just a reissue. And then Thundercracker for Transformers 1 and Transformers 1 Arachnid. So those are getting us some characters. I don't know if they've ever done Thundercracker from Transformers 1. Not sure. But I know Arachnid is a new one. Alright, so here comes the Wind Charger from Power of the Primes. Not a bad figure, but it is smaller. It's smaller than the scale that they've restarted with making these deluxe. When they make them deluxe, they make them a little bit better. He'll actually have feet, I bet. I bet he truly has feet this next time. And I have this one. I don't think it's horrible. I just was kind of in the mindset when this came out that it's way better than the vintage one, but still not quite hitting the mark. Better than, but not hitting the mark. Still isn't quite good enough. So be curious to see what they do with this character going forward. This picture is almost cheating in a way, but Sunstreaker. Okay, the problem with the first Sunstreaker was that it had different coloring yellows because they had to paint the plastic, the clear plastic part, the translucent part for the windshield. And so they painted that plastic yellow. The paint didn't match the casting of the yellow, which it never ever does. So that was an issue. So we're going to be getting another one of these. Now, I do believe it will be a G1 one, but maybe I'm missing a point there and it's not G1. But I'm wondering how they're going to do the windshield. And when we get talking about HOUND, wonder about the windshield. Because HOUND is on this list later too. But I guess we can just slide right into the HOUND talk. because I'm going to reuse these pictures anyway. But if you look at Hound's windshield is that solid plastic, that blue. It's a cartoon blue. It looks very cartoony. But what are they going to do with are they going to make it clear windshield one for those that didn't get this set? For the people that paid $100, $110 for the set, or the people that outright bought a Hound, now would they want to go turn around and get another one? And if they make another one, is it going to match this set, or is it going to match the other ones that were put out so that you could finally get the set to make it match? I mean, there's a lot of questions with it. Hound's been very problematic since the first release in Siege. I thought it looked terrible, and I got roasted for that. I mean, people just defended it because they wanted a Hound, and let's just check off a box and move on. And it looked like a Hummer. It didn't really look like a Hound to me. I didn't like the alt mode. I didn't like the bot mode. I ended up buying a KO oversized one, thinking that I could do something, make it look a little bit better. But no, I couldn't. I don't like anything about the Siege one. Then we get the Earthrise one. Now it's a heavy retool from the Siege, and it looks way better in my opinion. Now, is it perfect? No, nothing in life is perfect. And at the $25 price point, it's not going to be perfect. So I'm curious about the Hound, but when we get to it, we will talk a little more about it when I see it. But the thing about this is that now people are going to be able to get this for $25 instead of $110. Or if you look at the aftermarket, I mean, right when the set was still at BBTS, people were selling this for like 60 or 70 bucks. Then once the set sells out at BBTS and other places, then this Hound just skyrocketed in price. So it's interesting that this Hound is going for so much when, in fact, it's going for more than the set originally went for in some cases, which is just mind-blowing. But people really wanted this Hound, and it was kind of a jerk move to not let everybody have it the way they want it. And this is one of those things where it's a reissue situation with this Hound. And it is sorely needed, though. It is sorely needed. I knew they'd eventually come out with another one, but we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, or if they're going to change, how it's going to fit into your collection. Ovilus, look! It's Krennics! So Krennics is another one that I think Masterpiece collectors are probably going to want. I've got the Impossible Toys version. It is severely undersized because they weren't going for Masterpiece at the time. This is going to be bigger than what Impossible Toys makes. If you just look at other figures in the Deluxe line and kind of how they've done it in the past, it'll probably be in that scale, that like 5-inch scale, something like that, and would be better than a 4-inch scrawny little Impossible Toys one. Now, I'm happy with my Impossible Toys one for now, but I'm definitely going to pick one of these up, though. So that's a good one to go with, and they'll probably remold it into Ovilus. All right, proceeding on this list, we're going to have reissues of Skywarp and Thundercracker, Voyager, Scale, and then Shockwave. That was so there's not a lot of information here, but he was a leader class, packed in with some extra unnecessary blocks of plastic to bump it from a Voyager to a leader. He was Voyager scale figure with blocks of plastic to make him the value of $50. Now he's really just going to be 35. Then Transformers 1 Alpha Triumph, which would be kind of cool. But let's get into this Shockwave. Okay, so here's the leader class Shockwave from Siege. I would hope that they smooth out the lines a little bit more and they make them look a little bit smoother. I would like that. I would love that. And then put them out as a Studio Series 86 Voyager scale, and none of the extra junk. He just doesn't need all that junk. He just needs the part that looks like the tip of the gun. I don't know what mode they're going to go with. Is it going to be an upside down battleship or something like that? Or is it a battleship mode, upside down gun battleship, submarine mode? Who knows? But still, I think they'll just go with this mold again and just tweak it, make it look a little bit cleaner, more 86 movie-ish. Now, there's a lot of questions surrounding what's going on here. A leader Soundwave. Now, they've put out Soundwave as just a standard Siege one for $30. Back when it was $30 for a Voyager. Then they put them out in like a $40 pack that was like a special Walmart one, which everybody wanted. The Netflix one, everybody wanted. it was good, but it still felt like his chest was too wide for his whole body, but it was better. And then they put that one back out. And they did all these other like dramatic capture series and other side ones. So we'll be interesting to see. Some people are guessing that this Studio Series 86 one is going to be a retool, like a heavy retool, and it'll be taller. But I don't know. Astro Train, I think, will be just a straight up reissue of Astro Train, like they always do. Just reprint it. Snarl, when I get to go through this list, I'll show some pictures. But Snarl's already up for pre-order, or actually in stock at BBTS. So it's already come true right now. Studio Series Nemesis Prime, Transformers 5 Nemesis Prime, and then the Capsule series we'll talk about here in a bit. There's Snarl at BBTS, $65 in stock. I don't like that he is so much more expensive, and it makes me wonder if all these remakes of Dinobots are going to be $65. Is that the new price point BBTS wants to charge? And I will quickly touch on this. The fact that BBTS charters their own shipping, 25% on what they pay Hasbro for the figures is a much, much higher price than Hasbro getting charged 25% tariff on what they manufactured at. So let's say they're charging for this figure, it might cost them $12-15 to manufacture it. They're paying the 25% on that. But BBTS is probably paying $56 each or something along those lines, or $50 each, and so they're paying 25% on that because they chartered it all the way over here. So that's how that's kind of working. So Amazon, I believe, buys it straight from Hasbro once it's already over here, and it would be easier to maintain the price in that fashion if you're not chartering your own shipping containers. Or at least that's my understanding of the situation, and that's the only reason I can understand that BBTS is jacking the price up so much more than anyone else. All right, so this is going to be called the 30th anniversary capsule, whatever that means. I guess they've probably done some of these in the past, but I don't really pay that a close attention to Hasbro's multitude of sub-line namings. I just don't know. But HOUND, Deluxe scale. This is where I talked about HOUND, so they're calling it the Studio Series 86th Anniversary Deluxe HOUND, and they haven't done HOUND in 86 yet, so it'll be interesting to see how they take it, how they go about it. The Studio Series Anniversary Voyager Scourge. So these aren't all in the same category. Voyager Scourge, we'll talk about that one a little bit more, but I see sweeps so much, I forgot they even made a separate Scourge. Also, Hot Rod is getting hot again. So I have a few things to say about that one, but the Leader Optimus Prime, I assume is just Earthrise Prime reprinted, put back out, almost exactly the same. I might be wrong on that, but that's the way it feels. But it is going to be considered a Studio Series now, so if it's Studio Series, then will it be completely different? Will it be a remold of that? I mean, they've already got a really good Commander Class one, but this is nice to have a $55 option. All right, so here is Scourge, and yeah, it's different than a sweep. So people are charging a little bit more for the Scourge than the sweeps because I guess he was harder to get. I just don't remember seeing him. And I remember seeing sweeps thinking, yeah, they're just going to make one, call it sweep, and then you can call one a Scourge. But there's definitely some differences between the two, as in I think the sweeps are a little smoother in the chest area. It's a little bit more detailed, but I don't know. I'm guessing. I didn't dig out. I don't even know if I bought a Scourge separately from sweeps. But anyhow, I didn't even realize this was a thing people are charging $60 for now. What I think with Scourge, though, it might be one of those, and Hot Rod would probably be the same, that if they put it back out and it's on shelves, it might not sell that well. It might, because sweeps did not sell very well for whatever reason. Scourge is probably going to be the new sweep peg warmer unless they just produce it for fan channels. So I guess we're going to end on this Hot Rod. Now, Studio Series Hot Rod is shooting up in price, and it was originally a $30 figure. It is a $25 deluxe figure, but they did up the engineering on this and put it into a new category. Actually, when this came out, it was $20 was the price point for the deluxes, and then the Voyagers were $30. But nowadays they're going to reissue this. It's going to be $35. But people really want this. Now, it's been a few years since it's been out, and I just remember that I would see this pop up at places on sale. Walmarts would have them on sale. Dirt Cheap had it on clearance. I think a couple Rosses ended up getting them. And so it was one of those things that, in my mind, I just can't believe that this thing is fetching $60 nowadays, because it just seemed like it was everywhere, and you just couldn't go to a store without seeing a Hot Rod or 5. And it's like it was not hard to get. But I will say this, it's a very good figure. It really is. It is a good figure, so reissue is probably a good thing, but it'll probably be in that whole category where if they produce too many, it's just going to be sitting everywhere, clogging up shelves. And one of the problems with reissues clogging up shelves is we talked about new things on this list. Might be hard to get the new things because a reissue Hot Rod is sitting there, or 5 of them. Or what are they going to do with the 5 Bumblebees at every store? So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you kind of understand that I'm going to sing the praises when things are good, and I'm going to say the negatives when they are bad. But what do you guys think about this list, the upcoming 2026 items from Hasbro? And did you see a couple things in there for Masterpiece collectors that you might be eyeballing and wanting to pick up? Or do those of you who've been collecting all along say, you know what, none of it really interests me? Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe. Happy Friday. Be back with a Masterpiece discussion next Friday. Hadir Hanger out.